Hi. Welcome back to yet another incredibly interesting Elite Danger stream. Yeah. Today, as one could have guessed, it is once again time for incredible space-related activities and missions. Yeah. But yeah, the situation so far. Luckily, nothing has really changed. Fortunately, nobody really has any interest in doing anything in the system, so I can continue pushing the influence of the patrons of the conflux continuously over the next few days or weeks or perhaps even months, so that one day we can have war. So I can have finally. Why do I want a war again? So I can have the faction with the cooler name be the one in control of the star system. Yeah, I think that's a fair reason to start a war. I mean, hey. We all got reasons. I think this one is a pretty fair one. I mean, also, these guys are like a confederacy. Like, those are, I don't like those. I don't like those guys. Those are weird. You know, we got a patronage. Those are people that just give us money. They just give us money. In a confederacy, you're sort of have obligations and such, you know. But the patronage, they just give us money, you know. But anyways, really the only reason I want the system switched is because I really don't like that name. But yeah, so far we've gotten up from like 12% of what it was up to 35 points on the 7. That's how you pronounce that, believe it or not. And I believe I can get like 4, 5 more percent for this week done if I do various extremely fun missions. Also, turns out that despite the fact the mission giver is giving me 5 million planetary scan missions, the more missions you do of the same type, the less effective the effect of them becomes. So that means if I do like 10 missions, an unknown percentage less, the 10th mission of the same type will be at boosting the influence of the faction that I want. Continuing with an incredible report regarding the incredible activities. Yep. Still, that was all me. It's cool. It's interesting to like see that the back end, for whatever reason, does not unify what you did with different names. Because I was like, yeah, I should change my commander name to my streamer name because, yeah, that makes sense, you know? But then I was like, then I realized rather, or I found out after further research that things like first discoveries and other things, the name doesn't change. So I did change it back, but not before finishing, I think, like 1 or 2 installations or whatever. But yeah, very cool. We had 1 Type 9 Heavy fly through this system. Who knows what the heck they've been up to? Let's quickly go and check our lovely neighborhood map. Wow. Yeah, I think we should quickly fly over to the Layer 1DL-Y F26 sector. Quickly 1 week adventure to get over there. Oh, it's one of the permit locked things. You know what, lads? You know what? I want to check on the freaking highway that is currently on its way to the core of the galaxy. Because, you know, people do that. Yeah, I would like to spend 20,000 hours hauling all that stuff over there. Just need to sort of find the highway, but we can pretty much just go over to the Lagoon Nebula, which, I mean, probably very cool real estate, and just quickly follow this line over here and just check, where do these people go? Wait, only here? Let's just check. But yeah, they oh, I mean, they might be changing course towards Colonia, which would make sense. But I'm pretty sure, and with pretty sure I'm meaning I just made it the fuck up, they're on the way to the core of the galaxy to do, I don't know, camping there or something. Wow. Personally, I don't like the idea that you can even, like, visit the galactic core, because, you know, it's a supermassive black hole which sort of, Jesus Christ, pulls everything in. I don't think we should have tourist installations. Look at the star density here. Like, I don't think the supermassive black hole in here, which is slowly, like, which is the literal gravitational center of the galaxy, I don't think we should have, like, tourist stations over there, you know? You'd think this area of space would be slightly volatile, but yeah. Who really cares? I do. Anyways, let's quickly make sure I did actually follow the correct path for the thing, because I really want to know how far they have gone. Okay, looks like they've only really gotten up to roughly here, which, I mean, does make sense, because I think it takes like for a single person, like 6 hours to do the epic adventure that was in 8 hours, hauling the materials for a single outpost. And the further out they go, the further away they are from any, like, resources from which they, you know, need to get the various cool commodities that they need. So, yeah. I just hope they don't actually make their way over there, because, come on. Come on, man. That would ruin my immersion. Do you know what? Do you know how bad that would be for my immersion to be ruined? But no, it would be kind of cringe. If they did end up going there in the next, like, 2 years or whatever. Anyways, the patrons of the conflux need my assistance. Sure, let's give them money. Yes, I can help. Okay, 10 million planetary scan jobs and an urgent kill order for a known terrorist. Heck yeah. Threat level 5. That means it will probably be a Sidewinder. Wow. Epic. Anyways, let's set up my hot ass and get ready to go out there. My flying skills have not improved significantly, but it is fun to have a stick in your hand while you fly. Any of the premium real estate I wanted around here?
Released. Engines engaged.
Yet colonized? No. Except for this system, which had like a cool gas giant and some asteroid stuff, which was very neat. Turns out you need an asteroid field to have an asteroid base. If only I googled that before. But well, we have still this lovely piece of real estate, which is the one of the only vacant asteroid fields in a 15 light year radius. Wait, is it? Oh no, it even I would have to make like a bridge system, which for a single thing I cannot really be bothered to. Oh, let's check our incredible progress over here. Yeah. I'm pretty sure nobody has done any work over here regarding those systems. I mean, the wonderful, beautiful... Oh, I can't even check them because they're on the planet. Installations over here. But I'm pretty sure nobody is shipping anything there. Probably would have showed up, but yeah. I think there's a tourist installation, an agriculture one, and a small outpost. Beautiful. Hey, and of course I built it on a ammonia world, which yeah, I don't think you want to heaven knows when you live on a planet. Anyways, time to charge the frameshift drive and get in there and see what it means to be facing a threat level 5 enemy. 4, 3, 2, 1, engage. I should probably put like music in the background. Yeah.
Incoming mission critical message.
Oh my gosh.
Fuel scooping. Fuel scooping complete.
Hack target. Okay. Oh, I'm getting a fine again. I have to go to prison for like a second again because of illegal scanning. Boy, can't I wait. Oh, also I did the funny community goal. My Panther Clipper will now have an even more slightly increased cargo capacity, which is incredible. Let's see what incredible music we have over here. If only I knew. Let's go with some classics. Quite literally. And then see where the playlist might take us. You know what this game needs? I think I already said it, that the game might need like something like a in-game radio station, but I think what it would need instead is the option for people to put like music files in a folder wherever the video game is stored, and to make their custom radio stations that way. Add like a little funny effect to it that like simulates signal degradation from being in deep space or whatever, and like some AI like have it be like interrupted by stuff like the Galnet stuff, you know, that sort of stuff with the Galnet, like sort of this.
Frontline Solutions announces expansion of services. Frontline Solutions has
Beautiful.
declared it intends to expand service processes to meet growing
And have like, I don't know, some funny in-universe ads play there as well. That would be heckin' awesome. Also, hello, J-Player. welcome to the sophisticated stream. Yes. How are you doing? How was your... Good song. I asked first, but I'm doing the same as usual. Not good, but also not great. How's your keyboard journey going? I think last time you mentioned you were trying to get into playing instruments. But yeah, I'm doing the same as usual. Eh. Oh, also, how's your, like, HOTAS project coming along, if I don't confuse you with anybody else? If I knew what those things meant, I would say very cool. Since I don't know what they mean, I will just say very cool. Now, why have you given up on the keyboard thing? Okay.
Orbital flight
Uh-oh.
engaged.
Can't wait to get a fine again. Ah, I see. I mean, you could try to get one with less keys. If you just want to, like, get practice with pressing them, so... Oh, fair enough. Like a big one? Like a real one? Or like one of those... electronic ones, I guess. One of the small ones. Wow. Like a very big one, or one that you are actually able to put in like a apartment or something? Okay. Come on, cool down faster. Okay, pretty cool.
Frameshift drive charging. Ready to engage.
Okay.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Engage. Wow. But yeah, it's pretty cool. Hopefully, it'll go. God dang it. Well. Yeah, I'm a good pilot, thank you. Yeah, I know what you mean. Like, there's like a big, like, whatever the heck it's called in English, grand piano, and the ones you can like put up on a wall, basically.
Frameshift drive charging.
I mean, it should.
4, 3, 2,
1. Engage. But how's the, like, joystick or HOTAS project coming along? Oh. Oh well. Okay. Finally, a correct approach. Oh. Oh. Well, whenever you continue with it, I hope it goes well. Which are very encouraging words. Very cool. How's the studying going? Like, just tell me everything what's going on, you know? Because when you like go off in chat and I can just go, yeah, I don't really need to do much, so Let's just let everybody who happens to one day watch this VOD know what's right now going on, you know? Okay. Oop. Okay. Oops. Mission target. Him. What they don't tell you, you will get 5,000 fines for scanning the thing. Then go to prison. And get killed. Very cool.
Landing gear deployed.
What?
Landing gear retracted.
Just one button. Okay, where's the evil space criminal? Very cool.
Frameshift drive charging. 4, 3, 2, 1. Engage.
Are they even in this wonderful star system? Nope. One day I get one of those missions where I don't have to incriminate myself. Oh, that's normal, I guess. Huh. I mean, one day Europe will be able to, like, probably build things again without fucking it up. Oops, wrong button. One day.
Frameshift drive charging.
No, just in general, that's just how it is these days, you know? Because, somebody is overcharging when they usually, you know, especially if the government pays for it. So, no surprise there.
Mission objective detected.
Oh my god. There is the target. Approaching now. Like in Germany, we're not very good at building things anymore. I mean, it's one thing if there's like contractors overcharging, but when you overcharge, at least get it done within the decade of when you were supposed to do it, you know? Like, if things would get built as fast and to the quality standard as, let's for example, things in Japan are being done for all the faults that country has of its own, let those companies charge like 5 times what they do, but at least things get done, you know? But in some places it takes like ridiculous amounts of time for things that at least seem like they shouldn't take as long. Like sometimes when places have like a pedestrian bridge and that thing costs like $2 million, like, huh? Why is that so expensive? Oh well. You know? I lost the point of what I was trying to say. Damn it. Yeah. Pretty much. Like in Germany, we have lots of... You know, like the billions that we wanted to use to build our big army again? Yeah, it looks like much of that didn't go where it was supposed to. But in Germany, it isn't like... When we have corruption, it isn't necessarily like the classic... what you would like imagine, the like greasy guy just stealing the money. Instead, we are more sophisticated. Do you know what we do? We just hire contractors that are usually somebody has like a family member in the working there from the government, and then those companies give the government advice on what to do. Yes. And somehow they're getting paid millions for that very sophisticated advice, which you can imagine is of incredible quality. We just have stuff like that going on. And of course, ooh, actually something difficult. Holy shit. And of course the classics as well. Time to shoot. There actually is a Sidewinder. Why is the explosion green? Okay, well, let's get this guy. I don't even need my big cannons. I really like the pack-out missiles, simply because they like look goofy when I shoot them. Like, that's the only reason I use them. Because they go like... And like, what more reason do I need for equipping them? For putting a weapon on my ship? But what if I use... Oh, please hold. My shock cannons, TM. Wow. Terrorist destroyed. Well, let's hand in the mission and go to prison. Very cool. Oh. Yeah, in Europe and first world countries, the corruption usually is very sophisticated. There's like this small layer of pretense. Yeah. It's weird how very often it's like somebody who's like good friends with the government, you know, gets like government jobs. Strange how that happens, you know? Or how lobbying is just straight up corruption, but it has a fancy word and stuff like that. You know, it would only be half as bad if shit would be working, but it doesn't. I'm also still a big fan of how the like national railway was privatized for a time, or how like when you privatized, I think the postal service was also privatized, because those business people, they know what they're doing, you know. They have the smarts, unlike the dumb government workers, you know. And all those things have been run into the fucking ground. you know? Which is very cool. Yeah, and I think in Germany, it's like pseudo privatized, where for some reason our railway is like publicly traded or something. I'm not entirely sure how it works, but it was something like that at some point. But it's very goofy, and it's falling apart, and it's yeah, not exactly. Let's just say the way things are going with the infrastructure and how it goes, I don't really necessarily think the people leading the Deutsche Bahn really earn their high six-figure salary, you know? Wasn't there like a... didn't like a tip? I think I remember faintly like Italian railways were also... Wasn't there one of them like trying to like have like trains in Germany for something? Because you get this. Germany once had pretty much a very, very good railway system. Like extremely good. Of course we have... Ah yeah, exactly. And of course it has been run into the ground. And now instead of like it all being like serviced by the Deutsche Bahn, all those private railways are doing many of the connections themselves now, and just renting the
Docking request granted.
the rails, I suppose. Like, is it? No. Is it too much to ask that the government should be like doing that on their own? Like having public transport up and running, at least like rail services. Is that too much to wish for? Yeah. Also, one of my all-time favorites in Germany is
Not deployed.
that when like rail expansions happen, you know, the infrastructure that gets built, you know, for like freight trains to like go where they need to go, you know, things that would get like thousands of what are they called, trucks, like off the highways and such. Either there's going to be some fucking obscure frog or cricket, which we can't possibly allow to die, so we need to ramp up the costs 10 times by building around its natural habitat. But when we do that, there's of course some people who are like, well, I like public infrastructure and transport. I like that we like try to go and be more green with that, but could you not do it in my backyard, please? That would really hurt me, my feelings and resale value of my house. If that railway line would go by my house, like 5 kilometers away from it, that would really be devastating to me. Like, people, get a grip. You either want rail infrastructure, or you want to not live with the risk of a fucking railway going by your house or something. Okay. Influence. Okay. Boom, 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 boom. Donate more money? Of course I will. But there are many things in Germany also get like held up, not only by bureaucracy, but also by people that are like, does it have to be here? Like, does it have to be here though? Do I have to be inconvenienced by the things I would like to happen? Really? Like, come on. liberate some alcohol. Can I do that for influence? I can't. Well, let's go to prison and do some scan jobs. I love those. Just go vroom vroom and then and then flying back. Oh, that's one of my favorites. When there's always somebody. Like, you have it's not only in Germany but other places as well. Somebody like moves in right next to the, I don't know, loud factory where they manufacture loud things, and then they complain, the loud factory is loud. I moved in here, built my house right next to it on this very cheap land, but now there's a loud factory? What the hell? And like, sometimes you have, of course, a judge who's like, you're a dumbass, shut up, the thing was there first. But also, sometimes it's like, oh well, okay then, please be quiet now. And the place has to like move or like impede the operations a lot. It's like people suing because they moved right next to train tracks and the trains are going by. Well, like there's like, I don't know exactly where. It's also like years back, 10 years or something. There were like people who lived in their houses. It's also a bit like comical, the amount of tracks that there are for like the freight trains. It's like 5 railway tracks side by side. But those people were like, the trains, they're so loud, please don't have them drive here. And like, come on. Like, if you have your house and you move in right next to like 5 to 6 like railway tracks that are side by side, and you have to have like complain on national television that it is too loud. Like, move? I mean, yeah, it like sucks if you have to, but you moved right next to the 5 train tracks. Like, bro, what do you want, man? It's like moving in right there into an apartment above or right next to a nightclub or something and be like, oh my gosh, it's so loud, what the heck, dude? But yeah, we have that in Germany too, where somebody like builds their house on cheap land and then complains about the reason for the cheap land, and the law doesn't always account for the fact that the, you know, loud thing was there too, which caused the land to be cheap. So then the loud thing has to be impeded because some asshole was like, time for a pro gamer move, and yeah. I mean, I think back then they had less reason to know better than somebody who builds their house right next to a fucking international highway and then going, why car so loud? Ooh, the cars, they drive by, they loud. Please, government, build a protective wall to protect it from the sound from the sound coming from the cars in our newly built houses. Please, it only costs $50 million. Please build a wall. Like, come on. Oh, I would be fine if they like paid for walls like this themselves when the highway was there first, but you'd know damn well the city or whatever has to pay for that. Hell yeah. It's the cow music. Nice. You know, maybe, who knows, maybe there will be one day like a government project, like a big mega project, as people like to call them, that is not only going to be costing only double as much as planned, but also will be completed within 5 years of the planned completion date. What a victory that will be. Huh. Yeah. Okay. Where's my illegal scan job? Up on the other side of the planet. Very cool. Wow.
Orbital flight engaged.
Look at that sunrise. Yeah, true, it's far worse there. That place is a corporate hellhole, and proud of it. Like, bro, what the heck? Okay. Isn't that the weird song where there's like a barking person in there? Going woof. The people united will never be defeated. What the heck? Are we in a war? Huh. I guess somebody's just very passionate. Like imagine thinking it's normal that you can drink tap water. Like what? Come on, man. What do you have the pipes for? I mean, given the fact that Italy was such an astronomical ally, I would ask you to not do the Italian things in the future when Europe might rely on you. I will do that and you cannot stop me. I will even make it white socks with various colored out stripes just for the comedic effect.
Trespass zone cleared.
Because I can.
Warning, you have entered a trespass zone.
Okay. Preparing for scanning operations. Yes. Scanning operations. Operations scanning? Come on. I usually need to do this with my funny little car. There we go. So I need to align that. There we go. Crime committed. Time to leave. Yeah. Okay. Well, time to go to prison and just quickly drive back. What is your opinion of the like newest Ferrari, the like electric one? Do you like have any thoughts on that? You know? What escapes me, I mean I get it. That they
Radio station has a song that you absolutely
Oh, yeah. No, not today.
Fuels
What escapes me is I get it that they make like a funky little like modern electric car design, but why not just put the electric stuff in a beloved chassis as an alternative version, you know? Because I get it that you don't do it for like a shit box from the 60s that's like a freaking rectangle on wheels, but you know, beloved supercars usually are quite aerodynamic already, and you can like fit the battery in there, so
incoming mission critical message.
like, you know, I mean, come on, man. Like for many things, like in general, I mean, I get it, aerodynamics, yada yada yada, and of course safety stuff and such. But the beloved sports car that was road legal 2 years ago, I'm pretty sure there wouldn't be much of an issue to have an electric version of that, you know? Sure, like I get it that the like Golf from 1989 or whatever isn't exactly up to modern safety standards and cannot be sold, but I'm sure a car from 2015 can. Wait a second. Why can't they? Why don't they skirt around those laws by by selling people road legal chassis that they can then put the car look that they want around? Yeah, that'd probably be too expensive to do. Yeah. Yeah. Whoa, 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 whoa. Why is Dexter Semani in this system calling about workers having to be united? Hold up. Wait a minute. What the heck is going on here? Is there some communists trying to do communist things here? What the hell? Anyways,
Drive charging.
let's keep going.
4, 3,
Yeah, but
2, 1. Engage.
I wasn't he like Fiat? I mean, the Fiat was like adapted to like modern safety law standards and whatnot. What I'm saying is you can't just say, we are now building again the beloved car from 1962, because you can't like sell it as a new car because it doesn't have like the needed safety stuff due to EU regulations or something, I believe. But yeah, why not the abbreviated designs, you know? I don't know, you would have to ask Dexter some money. I'm pretty sure there's like a communist revolution in one of the neighboring systems, but as long as they don't come here, I couldn't really care a lot. Okay. We fucking crashed, holy shit. The workers. They united so hard, my computer crashed. Okay, I'm just gonna go here. Restart the game. I mean, I gotta be honest. Soviet Russia, sort of a bit of our fault. We sort of sent like Lenin over there as a sort of like social nuclear bomb that like tore apart the already shit show of a country that Tsarist Russia was. But yeah, bit of an L on our part there in the long run. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, didn't really work out though, did it? Come on, load faster. Okay. Hello, I would like a video game. Very good. 21 kilometers? Damn. Enemy. Coming to think of it, people blame us for many things, but they don't blame us for communism. Although, you know, it's one of our quality exports, if you if you think about it. But let's not, you know. My favorite part was when my favorite communist icon is Kaiser Wilhelm II, who wanted to shoot mine workers. I mean mine owners, if they didn't give workers' rights to the miners, which I think was pretty epic. But yeah, very cool.
Landing gear deployed. Docking successful. Engines disengaged.
It's a bit interesting to also like think about how far communism has fallen off. Like back then, it was like the workers, like going in and beating like factory owners to death after pulling them out of their houses, after they saw like the neighbor's kid get fucking mulched by the industrial machinery that they're sent in to fix, you know? Like actual workers fighting for their rights and such, and today it's mostly dominated by intellectual bourgeoisie, so to speak. You know, that are not really fighting for the workers, but for the ideology, if you know what I mean. Oh well. Time to redeploy. True, actually Austria gets away with way too much shit. You know? Their incompetency made like World War I possible. Then their crybabiness did cause it by triggering the web of alliances. To be fair, people were ready for, governments were ready for war back then. And you know, the big guy, Big H, as people call him, was an Austrian who was, for some reason, really into LARPing as a German person. Weirdly enough. So, yeah. They caused both of them, is what I'm trying to say, you know? Yeah. And one thing I like noticed with many like so-called communists these days, many of them have like this view that the average worker is like a retard that doesn't know what is good for them, and therefore needs to be led by the glorious, enlightened communist leaders, you know? So yeah, communism as such really fell off. But oh well. Womp womp, I suppose. Yeah. 3 more incredible gems.
Fuel snooping.
Like, it's like weird how many of them have like this mindset that their enlightenedness, that their big brains need to liberate the retarded worker from their oppression. You know, like, bit rude just to phrase it like that, but yeah. Their stupid workers don't know what's good for them. They need our leadership. I mean, sure. We're talking about the average person, which, yeah. You know, is necessarily a shining example of intelligence, I would say. But to like bring to this whole like class issue and such, to bring like this attitude of those workers, they're beneath us, they're idiots, and we need to lead them, otherwise they will be lost under their oppressors, is like, you'd think they realize that that outlook is a bit poisonous to the very idea of like communism and such. But I guess go off, King. The retards are just waiting to be led by you. A retard that grew up privileged. I'm certain it will make things much better.
Frameshift drive charging. Fuel snooping.
I think the joke was like a bit phrased a bit differently, but don't remember the wording well enough.
Frameshift drive charging.
Okay. I'm sure there will be incredible missions available, and not even more planetary scan missions. Okay, first off,
Disengage.
pineapple and pizza go well together. Shut up. And secondly, I think the main issue with like communism and such, as with most political ideology, is you know, the people who execute those, not pun intended, but execute the ideology themselves, because like communism would be super awesome and would like work incredibly well if we were robots, you know, and would act logically all the time. But the things communism and capitalism both, that many other ideologies in their ideal scenarios usually fail to account for, is human nature and just how corrupt we as a species can be. So, yeah. Oh, sure. Let me just write them down. Like it's similar to like a monarchy or fascism. Like a monarchy or like a fascist country can work incredibly well. It can be like some mind-blowingly good, but it really depends on the people doing it, you know? Oh, thank you. Thank you. That's cool. You know? You can have like a benevolent dictator or whatever and have like a very swell country. So yeah. But it usually starts and stops with human nature, how good a political system ends up being. Exceptions apply, of course. But yeah. You can't just say all monarchies are bad. Or all fascist forms of government would be bad, but now, to say that they would universally end up being good is to live like in a dream world that would not account for the fact that humans, you know, are the way they are. If we were like all being driven by the desire to do good and be like very cool people, the world wouldn't be the way it is. And even if you have like a perfect political system that you have like cobbled together from all political systems that exist, there's always gonna be somebody who's ready to frick it up, or like compounding, what's a good word, factors from various behaviors of people within a government that could lead to it to be absolute horrific shit. Influence, please. I want a war, so I can change the name of the system's ruling party for vanity purposes. Okay. Oh my gosh. Do I want to go to prison again? Fair enough. Come on, can the one that gives me extra influence not be one that gives me a bounty in the faction that happens to control this very station? Who the fuck is Paul Stephen Hay? Yeah, I suppose. But, yeah. Like I said, that sort of doesn't really work with humans. Threat level 2? Yeah, sure, let me blow up a fucking hauler. Yeah, sure, let's do another planetary scan job. Yeah, I think a country that runs well should understand like national identity. Yeah, okay, never mind. I just realized the how this sentence would sound if I finish it, but countries should realize their identity as a nation. That's the better word. And also implement socialist policies such as, like, you know, healthcare and public education and funding infrastructure and such, you know? You know what I mean? You know, but to forget like, you're still a nation of people, and you should use that understanding of being that to, you know, be in a social setting supportive and helpful to one another as one big cultural identity nation thing, you know? Yeah, that's why I switched from nationalism to national identity. You know? Maybe I should have mentioned socialism first before going to the national part. But you know, thank you. Wait, what? The thing when you like look at Mussolini is a bit of a comical person in the way things ended up for him. For some, didn't he want to ban fucking noodles as well? What was the whole like rice pasta drama? Enlighten me. Like, give me a rundown. You're the Italian. Tell me what was exactly like situation? Like, what was his like? Why rice stuff? Like what? Ah, I see. That makes sense. You know, if only Mussolini wasn't such a fuck up. Maybe Italy would have fared better. But then again, if Italy fared better, Germany would have been nuked in 1945, so... small victories, I guess.
Frameshift drive charging.
Didn't Germany supply Ethiopia with weapons while Italy invaded it? Wait a minute. I'm not saying that, I'm just saying that you can have socialist policies that are for the good of the people of a nation without, like, going, borders are a man-made concept and I want all the immigrants immediately. You know what I mean? You know? Like, you're still a nation, and I mean, if your best argument against being a nation is, well, it's a man-made up concept, you know, hashtag no borders. You'd be surprised how many things we've made up. And how many of them are actually good. Thank you. Very cool. I'm gonna quickly fail an invasion of Greece. BRB. Like, imagine that you're like a fascist nation and you're such a huge, disrespectable fuck-up that the Greece people, despite being defeated by you technically, with the help of Germany, refuse to surrender to you, but instead want to surrender to Germany. Like... like, come on. I mean, to be fair, I do agree with the fact that, like, racial purity by now is pretty much just... please, like, come on. Who are you kidding? Bit too late for that.
Frameshift drive charging. 4, 3.
The regime, yes, of course. They did really try to point like a good guy in the time where France and Britain and partly the Netherlands too were still colonial empires. Is yeah, yeah. I don't know, man. Not a worthwhile endeavor. You can't necessarily say the good, more like the better guys, you know? You can't say Britain were the good guys while they were starving millions of people in India at the same time, you know? Purposefully, you know what I mean? You can argue they were the better guys given the alternatives, you know? Sometimes it feels a bit like that World War II Italy in terms of even in World War One. Let's not get into the fucking things that happened in World War One. But like in World War II, at times it feels like Italy was a bit surprised that you actually have to be military and war and not just pretend to be one. Like the frogmen and such, in all honest, where competency was actually at display, but in other aspects, like I mean, to be fair, back then, I don't think that's like really a high bar to set. It's like ranking who's the best mega corporation these days. I mean, so did the British and French people. Like,
Orbital flight engaged.
yeah, it's once again a case of you can pick out the better, but the objectively good guys, I don't know. I don't know if you want to go into that. You know, the good guys of back then measured by our morals today, I don't know. I suppose. I have not really read up on detailed Italian colonial history. Yeah, let's not talk about the funny Belgian people who, yeah. Who did decide to, you know, I suppose compensate for the, oopsie, oh, for not being so significant in Europe itself, by being comically evil in their own colonies.
Incoming message.
Now we didn't get a freaking fine. Hell yeah. Time to move. You know, at least we sort of know of our epic World War II history, while Japan is more like when one talking about going it. Yeah, we had like minor conflicts with our neighbors, and then suddenly, out of nowhere, the United States nuked us. What I'm trying to say is, we are the victims of World War II. Like, huh? Excuse me? Huh? Yeah, we were just chilling. We were just trying to free the Philippines from like Netherland oppression and such, and British like imperialism. We're just trying to free all those guys, and then out of nowhere we got fucking nuked, and We are like innocent little babies. Please don't look into it. Like, huh? Please? Huh? Like, it's one thing to have it in your country's history that you did those things, but then being a bitch about it and not admitting to it? Come on. Like, we're not just talking about invading other countries for land and resources. We're talking about horrifically, comically evil atrocities committed by your army. Like, holy fuck. Like if you like go into it, what they like did, it's like reading a novel written by an edgy teenager or something. Like, it's ridiculous. I don't know what the number was, but I heard they became pretty successful businessmen, some of them afterwards, so they gotta have done something right, you know?
Incoming mission critical message.
Like, those guys specifically, it seems like they just were fucking around just for fun and needed like an excuse and were like, yeah, it's actually research, bro. Trust me, bro. Anyways, back to the dungeon. Like, what the hell? Well, good to know, I suppose. Yeah. Just compare these stories of like what American POWs had to endure in a like German POW camp that was inspected by the freaking Red Cross of all things, and to what comically evil what comically evil things were happening in Japanese ones. Like, come on, man. Nah, bro, it's fine if you don't see them as human, you know? Okay.
Incoming mission critical message.
Like, they were just chill, you know, the entire war. They were just trying to be the good guys of the Asian co-prosperity sphere, you know? Then one day, for no reason at all, they got nuked. Like, what the hell, bro?
Frameshift drive charging. 4, 3, 2, 1. Engage.
Don't they like have still a shrine for all their war criminals? Like, imagine.
I've no idea what the next song is called, and it's chosen completely random. But I heard it's pretty cool.
Damn. That's pretty cool. Yeah, they have like their Shinto shrine for like war criminals and such. At least where war criminals are on it as well. Imagine it was like a religious site in Germany, honoring like fucking the government from 1938 to 45. Like, what? Huh? Like, that would be a bit whack. Like, I'm gonna say it, and I won't deny it, ever. I think what Germany did in World War II was civilized compared to the fucking things Japan was up to. You know? At least we killed them, you know? At least we just freaking killed and enslaved them instead of doing whatever the fuck Japan was doing when they got their hands on people. Like, holy shit. It's another case of the infamous picking the better of the worst options. You know, at least we just killed them, mostly. A monument for Mussolini. Oh well. That. Eh. At least he was just an incompetent nationalist. You can have worse people to honor. Yeah, but he didn't do it with every... Not everybody was doing it, you know? You didn't have entire battalions of people doing freaky things like that, you know? You didn't have your fucking... For the sake of... language, or... not naming it specifically. At least your soldiers didn't, like, have their involuntary female friends along with them on the front lines, and then shooting them in the head when they were retreating, making Americans wonder, why was there so many dead women around in the former Japanese positions? What's going on there? You know? Just talking about slight differences there. Like, and to do all that and then to have the Gallon go, yeah, we didn't do anything. We just chilled. We just tried to free Asia of European imperialism, and then we got nuked. Is rich, very rich. Like, why isn't there a melodramatic Japanese anime about what happened at Nanking? You know, or like the Philippines, for that matter. Like, why isn't there like a melodramatic thing about that? Weird. That's odd. Why don't they do that? Huh? Weird. I will now commit a crime by scanning the beacon. Bye. He will never return. Time to go for an incredible landing.
Orbital flight engaged.
Did I have like 2 planetary scan missions? No, 3 of them. Oh, nice. Oh yeah, 2 of them were against the Greybeard Guild. Everyone come back. Yes, of course. Everyone's favorite country. And bastion of innocence, who has been continuously at war since 1945.
You have entered a trespass.
Oh my gosh. But whatever you say, remember, they are the good guys. In everything they do. Oopsie. And just because they killed like several million Vietnamese civilians doesn't mean that
Flight assist
they made any
off.
bad things, you know? Hey, hey, you gotta get what you gotta get. You know, I mean, come on. Ooh.
Flight assist on.
If you have to use conscripts to do funny things, you have to do it, you know? If you have to, for instance...
Entered a trespass zone. Flight assist on. Flight assist.
Ooh.
Flight assist on.
Let me just quickly get this incredible scan done. Hey, I'm just saying, man, bombing Cambodia, completely justified. They could have done something. Okay. And I mean, hey, the war was completely worth it, killing all those millions of people. Poisoning even more. I mean, to this day, America has won the Vietnam War and has... Yeah. You know? Oops, wrong button. Okay, we're cool. Time to leave.
Incoming mission. Trespass zone cleared. Bounty incurred.
Hey man, sometimes you just gotta find shit out. And if you have to do things that would usually be illegal, I mean, hey. You know, hey. You gotta do what you gotta do. You know, it's like in World War I, using a obvious civilian freighter as a vessel to transport ammunition to one country. And then have the other country that country is at war with actually warn people in the newspapers that they will shoot on that ship because it is carrying arms and munitions, and then go like and act very surprised when that ship is actually being shot at. You know? Oh my god. I'm holding up. Did I scan things? But yeah, that ship was actually carrying munitions and military supplies. What was it then? Was it the fight for freedom and justice? Yeah. Of course. I mean, hey, I'm sure if it reached its destination, I'm very certain Mexico would have been extremely helpful. I'm certain of it. Am I jumping somewhere? Oh yes, I am. Time to move.
Frameshift drive charging.
I'm sure they would have marched straight on and like gotten the entirety of like Texas or something, you know? I mean, you kind of think it's a bit ironic, you know?
Incoming mission.
Of course, you know? Like Britain's foreign policy before World War I pretty much was, and due to their position in power, was to always make sure Europe is like disunited, and when like Germany came along to become pretty much a rival for Britain, like that war would have been so epic. It would have been so nice if there happened to be a Serbian like conspiracy to kill the Austria-Hungarian like heir and such. That would have been like so epic. if that would have been the case. It would have been so cool for you. Well, turns out 40 years later, it didn't turn out so good. But imagine if it worked out, you know? Britain could still be an empire, still could have all its colonies, you know? But, well, a shame it didn't work out, that little thing, you know? But a good thing everybody was so ready for war back then. Really, helped things get started.
Incoming mission critical message.
Yeah, and I mean, I just in case made sure their soldiers would have uniforms if they were to be called into Europe. To have those uniforms already there, you know, and stuff. They were just very good planners, you know. But I suppose we will never know, like, things regarding World War II, because, I mean World War I, because many of those things are still sealed, those documents from Parliament. And thankful to things like Operation Legacy, many of the documents of that time were destroyed. Also stuff concerning their, like, colonial heritage, you know? Why would they call a operation where they destroy so many documents Legacy? I guess it sounded cool. Okay. I want to jump to the next system, please. Oh no. That's a planet, not a system. But just imagine if World War I would have worked out, you know? Just imagine how epic it would have been. We could have still have Britain as a global hegemon. Imagine how cool that would have been. I mean, yeah. I mean, it's not like the alternatives were much better. Like, Tsarist Russia already was always like a fucking hellhole if you weren't, like, part of the rich people there. So, and Britain and France. I mean, they're Britain and France, you know. I mean, the Tsar had, like, at least economical reforms in place that probably would have worked out. So there's that. But yeah, given what Russia ended up being given with the Soviets, it probably would have been a better alternative if they kept on chugging with their Tsar for like a few more years. And Austria was very political stable with its multiple languages. It's always a very stable empire if you don't have one unified language everybody really uses. Really? Communist friends? I'm not sure. Certainly more socialist, but not fully communist. But yeah, the world would have been arguably better off if, you know, if, you know, the whole thing didn't happen in the first place. Yeah. I think... Actually, not sure. But a full-on communist France that remains stable? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Orbital flight engaged.
Yeah. Like, imagine we could probably still have monarchies. Like, Germany could still have like a real Kaiser. Imagine that. Or Britain could still have its empire. If only the whole Serbian assassination plot worked out. Damn it. Like, imagine going through all the trouble to be ready for a devastating war in Europe so you can keep your position as hegemon, but you just get completely fucked over by the entirety of it. And look at Britain today. Yeah. They really won out, didn't they? They really...
Warning, you have entered a trespass zone.
Yeah. Really ended well for everyone involved. Alright, scan please.
Incoming
Goodbye.
Incoming mission. Trespass zone cleared. Under attack. Bounty incurred.
I wonder how Austria and Hungary would have fallen apart if they would have done like a goofy like civil war, or if they would have just eventually. To be fair, I don't really see in that scenario an Austrian government that would have been mature enough to be like, okay, time to end this, you know? I don't see it. There would have probably been like a violent solution to the problem. Am I? Help. Tell me more. Would we have had the Austrian Union or something?
Warning, frame shift drive operating beyond safety limits. Warning, temperature critical.
Okay. Time to jump.
Frame shift drive charging. Frame shift drive charging.
Oh, true.
4, 3, 2,
But are you sure like his government would have played along with that? Wasn't there like this one general or whatever that was like very eager to be pursuing military solutions? I suppose, like, I guess it makes sense. It would have been like a sort of middle ground of giving, like, these various groups their national identities without basically coming out and saying, well, it's over now. and dissolving the entire, I suppose, nation at that point. But I mean, realistically, bigger foreign nations that were not friendly to Austria would have used the opportunity to sow more division if they could. Yeah. I wonder how the British Empire would have looked today. Okay. Like if... I mean, if World War II wouldn't have completely, like, bankrupted them, essentially. I mean, we could have still be talking about the British Empire. Oops, wrong button.
Heatsink deployed.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But I mean, the question is whether or not it would have, like, how it would have treated the United States, you know? Because with, like, still a big functioning and, like, economically viable empire, like, the United States would still be there with, like, their economic potential. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think Britain would probably also, like, try to push in America for, like, an isolationist stance.
Docking request granted.
Because without any, like, big world wars, for America to realize its, like, economic potential. But I mean, eventually, just through the nature of, like, capitalism and such, America would have, like, awoken to its, like, blessed geography
Deployed.
and economical potential, therefore.
Scan detected. Docking successful. Engines disengaged.
Well, time to go to prison again. I mean, really? I mean, with strong European power. I don't know. I mean, Japan would certainly want to have its, like, own... its, like, own empire, but... Yeah, exactly, that's what I mean. I don't think... I mean, they probably would still have, like, invaded Manchuria, perhaps. Which is, like, you know, contrary to Japanese history, a reason why embargoes were in place. But, I mean, in a scenario where America would have, like, been on a path to realize its economic potential, and Britain would have recognized America as a sort of threat, I wouldn't see it as unlikely that they would have allied with Japan. You know? because they were already like pretty. They had a history of being allies already. It really just depends on like what America's position would be in that world. I mean, to be fair, they wouldn't have like a devastated Europe that would have been blown up by World War II and a bunch of wartime factories to suddenly use for something else, and then practically having easy mode for economic domination of the planet from there on out. But I don't think America would have forever been like a sleepy country with too much stuff, you know? Oh, and we crashed. Very cool. Yeah, the Balkans would have still be the Balkans and such. But there would definitely would have been like a war in Europe. But the question, I mean, in a way, you could say that World War One, due to the nature of the alliances, in a bit was sort of inevitable. But time to fly back home. But yeah, there definitely would have been some sort. There would have definitely been a war in Europe, because back then, war was more of a political means, and like there wouldn't have been like the big World War I to dissuade people from going to war, let alone World War II. You wouldn't have like two generations completely jaded by like two incredibly devastating wars. So there definitely would have been some conflict. But the question is whether or not it would have evolved into a all-out blasting each other like World War I was. Yeah. Yeah, France would definitely be pissy about having a shitty military in the 1800s. Because those guys got absolutely folded. Eh. I mean, it's likely that but it's a good question to like, let's see the like whole Balkan, Austria-Hungary situation somehow, without like outside interference from like agitators and whatnot, had like a peaceful resolution. What a catalyst for another world war, or for like a great war would have been. Because I can definitely see Germany back then, like looking back at Germany essentially was formed by the fact that we did a pretty good job at being militarily active. Would look back at its past achievements and go, "You want war? Bring it!" You know? And then having the good old alliance system do its thing. I suppose. But it's interesting to think what would like have been a catalyst for the eventual Great War if the whole Austria-Hungary stuff was resolved exceptionally peacefully.
Warning. Temperature critical. Frameshift drive.
But oh well.
Frameshift drive charging.
How are your Chinese skills? Are you ready for a new global hegemon to take their place?
4, 3, 2, 1. Engage.
Well, that's good enough.
Fuel scooping. Fuel scoop disengaged. Frameshift drive charging.
I mean, they have the people, but do they have the skill? Do they have the cohesion for that? I mean, the biggest export India is going to have in the next, like, 30 years is going to be billions of climate refugees. But I wouldn't say that they are going to rival China. I don't think so.
Fuel scoop.
Oopsie. Like, sure, they can be near peer to China, but not fully.
Fuel scoop disengaged.
Yeah, but well, I suppose we'll see. Imagine if Pakistan was more competent, then China would have an easier time having a proxy against India. Damn. You're gonna leave now? In the last 5 minutes? Damn. While Amazing Grace is playing? What the heck, dude? Can't you just wait 5 more minutes? It's only almost 1 in the morning. Very cool. Hey, what do you think will be the dominant religion in Europe in 20 years? Hey, now that we're on the topic of, like, religion, like, how do you think that's gonna go? Hindu, of course. 20 years? But by what margin, though? By what margin, though?
Cannot comply.
I mean, depending on how, like, they do play their cards, it could end better for them. As in,
Request granted.
certainly a more dominant position as compared to what they have now. I wouldn't say only Germany. I mean, Poland will be pretty much the bastion of, like, unfortunately Catholicism, but Christianity nonetheless. but I don't think Germany will have like Christianity as its like actual dominant religion in like 20 to 30 years. Just don't really see that happening, at least not in a population of under 50-year-olds.
Docking successful.
Yeah,
Engines
Poland. Well, I mean Spain. Yeah, sure. You could have it that they like really remember what like Reconquista, you know, what actually the history behind that word, politically and such, and realize that maybe they should make different decisions, but. I mean, unless there's like the right-wing party in Germany, unless they really like show absolute competence in their ability to govern, I don't really see Germany being a Christian country. Wrong button. Much less a liberal country in like 20 to 30 years. What's another cool mission I can do? 90 units of cobalt? Count me in. Oh boy. Yeah, I'm sure with young people, but I think simply based on numbers, yeah. I don't think it will be. Christianity will probably not have a dominant future in Europe. Simply by nature of how things have turned out so far, unless there's like a radical shift in how the issue is approached. Like, I mean, we'll see. Maybe like the right-wing parties will be exceptionally competent in what they do, in like their policies and such, that like they will have continued support to enact policies that I suppose safeguard the national identities as we know them. You know, exceptions apply historically, but I don't think that unless they really take the issue head on, that a demographic change of most European countries can be reversed, so to speak. Yeah. I mean, Poland will... That place will still be Poland in the... by 2100, but I don't think Germany will still be much more than the name. And culturally will be not, it will be as it is today. I don't really know how it is in Italy. Yeah, it's the same for Germany, basically. Britain is already, yeah, right. Makes you wonder, how would Britain be today if the whole World War I debacle didn't happen? Spain? I don't know. I mean, yeah, I don't see. Like, they will probably still have like their past visible, but it won't be like Germany anymore. It won't be like Great Britain anymore. Simply because what people like to say is to be like, those who do not remember history are doomed to repeat it and all that stuff. But when you like show them the history of like Islam and how they usually try to become culturally dominant in the country, they suddenly go, Did you know Spain was actually bad once? You know? So, yeah, I mean, sure, Italy does have like this. I mean, to be fair, yeah, you don't have like this ingrained, almost institutionalized hatred for like your national identity. But at the end, it comes a bit down to numbers and what's like more attractive to the dominant group in your country, if it is to embrace Italy and its culture, or you know, whatever they brought with them, or like their parents brought with them, you know. But yeah, I don't think Europe as we know it today would still exist in like by like 2100. It will be. I would argue probably be worse off and far. Odd choice. Less liberal than it is today. Let's just skip this one. Wow.
You are now listening to
What the?
80 AM.
Oh my god. I should make this louder.
Random Radio. Where we play nothing but the best music. This ain't your granny station.
I mean, ideally, it could be similar as to how it is now, but Europe will certainly far less liberal than it is today. Like in the peak irony that the almost unconditional support that mass migration receives, the values of like liberalism and like women's rights, gay rights, and all that other stuff, I don't think they will be as dominant as they are today in Europe. I don't know. But yeah, unless Europe really does go radical, does have a radical change in whatever definition of the word you might want to put that, it's pretty much dying, and it will probably die within the next 50 years or so, like culturally at least. I mean, it will fade out over like 100 years. I mean, you could say, but what do you care if Germany does no longer exist as Germany or something similar in 100 years? But why should I not care, you know? In your opinion, hit me. But who knows, maybe Europe will get its shit together and be still Europe in 100 years. Oh yeah, that's also like a big issue. Like so much of American political bullshit has like a 6 months latency until it like infects Europe. Like, damn. Oh well. But yeah, Europe is getting culturally, I mean, the political bullshit nature of American politics and such is really devastating the political discourse in Europe as well. Yeah, I think it really does weaken Europe in that regard. Because the already like poisoned discourse from America is making the adult conversation we should have in Europe much worse. Like, They pretty much like take American narratives one to one at this point, and it's like, what are we doing? What are we doing here, you know? Like, come on. Oh well. But yeah. Hey, maybe Europe will get its shit together. But who knows? At least China will be well off, you know? And what do they care for a stable Europe? We have pretty much exported our technological know-how to them anyways. So, I don't know. Learn Chinese and move to the Philippines, I guess. If that's... no, no, wait. Move to Mongolia. Yeah. Actually overlooked country in that regard. Move to Mongolia. Yeah. Because the next like 20 to 30 years, like or until like the next 100 years, when the climate issue, however, whatever reason you want to assign to it, is going to get worse. That ain't a pretty time. I mean, yeah. I mean, Europe could sort of be self-contained, that's true. But, yeah, that's true. But the issue with all that foreign influence is it's simply that a religion that is inherently incompatible with liberal European values it's going to grow, and there's only so many ways you can prevent that. Some work better than others, some have worse consequences than others, so I don't really realistically see it effectively happening. Because, for instance, with like China, for example, would have a big interest in Europe being unstable and such. And yeah, but it is a huge factor. I mean, to not factor in like Islam and such into the future of Europe is I don't know, dude. But yeah, I think Europe would... I mean, China is going to most likely end up being like the next like dominant global power, unless America pulls a few tricks out of their head. But Europe will have to confront the question of its continued cultural evolution one way or another. And the question is what it will accept or what it want to be. So who knows, I guess. You know, maybe Russia, you know, will become the next big superpower. Oh boy. Yeah. Yeah, Russia will soon like reveal that like America has like an evil hologram projection over Ukraine, you know? And in reality, their military that should have been able to take on the entirety of NATO and was boasted to be able to do so is actually currently dominating the proxy war in Ukraine that does not have state-of-the-art NATO equipment. Yeah. But I mean, the question is how Russia will come out of its next like political turmoil. once the current government they have sufficiently changes. But I don't see Russia being too strong of an influence over Europe. I mean, they have, for all their military yikers, they're like cultural influence operations and such, and like social media and such, pretty good. That's something they can do really well. I mean, culturally and politically, that's sort of influence they do exert. But it really, I think I put like too much faith in like how China will develop in that regard, how it will politically approach its influence over Europe. But I mean, they probably couldn't care less, like how Europe develops culturally, instead of just, yeah. I completely lost the plot on what I was trying to say. Yeah. I mean, either way, they're probably just gonna deal with it. Well, cool. But, that's, not gonna win them their war. You know? So, and it's like not a novel new capability that just they have. So, but yeah. I mean, in many aspects, the future does not look bright. So, yeah. Pretty cool. But yeah, learn Chinese and like move to Mongolia or something and make like a, I don't know, open like a hotel or something. I mean, yeah, it is usually up to the people living in the times they live in to see how they go. But, hey, be optimistic. If we all work together very hard, we can make sure that the Czech Republic will become the new dominant Christian political power in Europe. Yeah. Yeah, an Italian like fusion kitchen right next to like the Mongolian steppe or something. Yeah. And call it Little Venice, and there will be no water nearby. Yeah. Yeah, the national car brand will be Skoda. The European alliance will be led and rebranded by the Czech Republic. Yeah. Yeah. The Czech Republic will finally realize the potential that was taken from it after World War I and after World War II and the subsequent occupation by the Soviets, and it will become the dominant world power. Just you wait. They have preparing for this all this time. Yeah. You know what? Actually, Portugal will have like a huge comeback. Yeah. Yeah. Anyways, I think this half-assed political podcast / gameplay of a video game can come to an end now. Thank you for stopping by. Very cool. Just close that. But yeah. Anyways, that's it for today. I hope that the stream was enjoyable, or at least somewhat entertaining. Thank you for stopping by. But yeah, thank you for watching and participating in chat to those that did. And yeah. Thank you for watching. Perhaps until next time, and goodbye.